Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be another YouTube exclusive video. I'm not currently streaming, but I just want to make it to answer one of my frequently asked questions on stream. And it's a question that I can't simply answer with a 15 to 30-second explanation because it doesn't do the question justice. The question is, what is the difference between Thumbring and Ballistics? Yes, two cast stage technologies that are described using very similar language, and at times it can be very hard to distinguish the differences between those technologies, even though they seem to do similar things and potentially even the same thing to the unexperienced reader. So I'm going to be doing this video in 3 steps. The first step is going to be to take a look at the tech tree and understand the differences between the technology and how they're described, the cost, and where they're researched. The second step is going to be running some tests, 3 tests against standing still objects, which is going to be a standard knight, and 3 tests versus knights in motion, which is going to be just them running back and forth along a line. I'm going to be using a crossbow, fully upgraded in Castle Age, except missing Thumbring and Ballistics. We'll get those later. To do these tests or to run these tests. Now, Thumbring and Ballistics affect more than just a crossbow, but this is just a standard example and a unit we see quite often in the meta these days. Alright, so enough talking. Let's go ahead and hop into the phase 1. Oh, actually, in phase 3 will be me giving advice on when to get Thumbring and when to get Ballistics in a real game. Okay, so step 1, tech tree. Step 2, experiment. Step 3, coaching. Let's hop into phase 1, or step 1, which is going to be the tech tree. Oh, not resigning just yet. I know it's a hard question, but not that hard. Okay, technology tree. Bringing back NEC memories already. So, I'm going to be using Saracens for these tests. And Saracens don't get any inherent archer upgrades or archer bonuses except the attack versus buildings, which is irrelevant in this case. So, let's take a look at the first tech, which is Thumbring. Thumbring is researched from the archer range and is available to you in the Castle Age. It costs 300 food and 250 wood. And it states, the archers fire faster and with 100% accuracy. Wow, that sounds like a great deal. 100% accuracy? Does that mean that my archers never miss? Because to the unexperienced reader, to maybe a new player, 100% accuracy means that it never misses. The unit will never miss regardless of the situation, because why would we assume that there's going to be different situations? However, very misleading information here. It does have 100% accuracy, but only when it's shooting at its intended place. And I'll show exactly what that means when we get into the experiments. One quick exception with Thumbring. Skirmishers benefit from only the accuracy and not from the firing faster, and hand cannons get affected by neither. So Thumbring doesn't affect hand cannons at all. Thumbring affects in full cav archers and crossbow, or the crossbow line and the cav archer line, however, and affects some unique units as well. Okay, so last thing to note as well, it costs 300 food and 250 wood. Very important to keep in mind these 2 resources. All right, let's hop on to the other tech in question here, which is Ballistics. So Ballistics is researched from the university, which is available to you in the Castle Age as well. And it costs 300 wood and 175 gold. It states that archers, town centers, castles, galleys, unique naval units, and mounted archers fire more accurately at moving targets. Alright, accuracy, very similar wording. However, the important thing with Ballistics is that little bit there at the end, moving targets. Now, the first difference right off the bat is that they cost 2 different resources. So if we assume that 300 wood of Ballistics and 250 wood of Thumbring can be cancelled out, it's only a 50 wood difference, we'll let it slide. There's still a big difference in that Ballistics costs 175 gold, whereas Thumbring costs 300 food. Another big difference as well, a very underrated one as well, is that Ballistics is researched in the university, which is unlocked in the Castle Age, whereas Thumbring is from the range, which you can actually prepare from Feudal Age. This means that when you actually hit Castle Age, you can start researching Thumbring immediately, assuming you have the resources required for it. Whereas for Ballistics, you have to build a university, which costs 200 wood first and takes some time to build. And so you can't get Ballistics as fast as you can get Thumbring. Alright, so let's go ahead and see and jump into the experiment part to see exactly what it means to fire more accurately at moving targets compared to fire with 100% accuracy. Also note that Thumbring does give your archers faster firing, which I don't have the exact numbers, but it's pretty easy to understand. Okay, so phase 2, the experiment. Let's go ahead and unpause this and see what we're dealing with. So again, we have the 3 knights that are standing still. and we have 3 knights that are patrolling back and forth in motion. I have full upgrades from the blacksmith, and I'm just missing ballistics and Thumbring. Again, university archery range. Let's go ahead and do the test here on my first stagnant target using just 5 crossbows from the Saracens. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. So I'm going to simply right click them and see exactly what goes down. Ah, 1 shot that missed, 2, 3 missed shots, 4 missed shots, and the unit dies. So a target that was standing still, we missed 4 shots. It's not the worst thing in the world. We probably missed like 4 out of like 20 or something there, which is not the end of the world, but of course not ideal and definitely not 100%. Let's go and see how we fare against an object that is moving back and forth. So again, same scenario. I'm just going to right click it. No micro involved here. And oh, well, this is a lot worse. What's going on here? Well, we're missing a lot of the shots. In fact, we're missing 100% of shots when the object is in motion. However, we are landing some stray arrows when it's turning back and forth. You see, when it's changing direction, that's when we're landing our shots. We land a couple shots each time. And even when it's moving direction or changing direction, we're still not landing a lot of the shots. It's just a few stray arrows. Interesting. So this is, of course, missing both techs. Also note that their fire rate is the generic one, and it will increase when we add in Thumbring later. Okay, let's go ahead and move closer just to finish this one off. Again, if I move a little bit closer, we're still missing shots. So we gotta really get in close. Make sure you're hitting when it's moving. See that? When you're really close, you start to hit regardless. Okay. Cool. So we missed a lot of shots when it's moving. We missed a few shots when it's standing still. Let's go ahead and do Thumbring now. And let's go ahead and see exactly what happens when the target is standing still. Maybe we'll get an increased accuracy this time around. Remember, it is supposed to be 100% accurate. There it is. Wow. So it wasn't falsely advertised. 100% accuracy, no missed shots. Also note that they fired a little bit faster as well. Again, don't have the numbers, but I'm sure you can Google them just as easily. So 100% accuracy, no stray arrows, and the knight was taken out very efficiently. However, this is still a knight that's standing still. Let's see what happens when the unit is in motion. Alright, so Thumbring, and we're moving forward here. Actually, I want to go from a bit further behind. There we go, so don't all shoot at once. And wow, this is fascinating. Not so 100% accurate now, huh? Yeah, we're still missing 100% of shots when the target is in motion. However, you'll notice that when the object is changing direction here, we are hitting more shots on average here. So when it's turning around, oh, actually, we're missing quite a bit there. But again, it's very unreliable, and we're only potentially going to catch it when it's changing direction, and we're still not hitting any shots when it's in motion. Let's go ahead and move forward and clean this one up. Same thing, we move a bit closer, and we're still missing. Got to really move close and take it out easily here. Cool. So notice from this test that Thumbring doesn't actually give you any bonus versus an object that is moving. It only gives you bonus versus an object that's standing still. Okay, let's go ahead and do ballistics here and finish off the test. So ballistics will actually add 0 effect. Yeah, it does nothing towards objects that are standing still. So we're still going to take this guy out with no arrows missed, but this is because we have Thumbring. Ballistics did not add anything and did not take away anything from this test. Okay, but let's go ahead and try now the moving knight with ballistics and Thumbring researched. Remember, with just Thumbring, we're still missing 100% of shots when it was in motion. Ballistics, let's see what you can do. Ah, very interesting. No shots missed, except when it was changing direction. Interesting. Maybe that's going to be for another video. But as you can see, when the object was in motion, we were hitting 100% of shots because of ballistics and Thumbring in combination. Now, in these tests, I did miss out on one thing. I did miss out on ballistics without Thumbring in shooting a moving target, and I simply couldn't fit that in because I'd have to get Thumbring first or ballistics first, and I chose Thumbring here. However, in that test, you'll find that ballistics will have more accurately, will shoot more accurately at moving targets, and will have no difference versus an object that's standing still. Alright, so based on these tests, this is the conclusion here. Thumbring gives you 100% accuracy versus targets that are standing still, but doesn't make you shoot any more accurately versus targets that are moving. Ballistics, on the other hand, gives you 100% accuracy, or I think close to 100% accuracy versus targets that are moving, but doesn't actually affect you, or doesn't actually affect the unit when it's attacking a unit that's standing still. And obviously Thumbring makes you fire faster. Alright, so now we have the last part of the video. This is when I have to recommend when to get either tech and when to prioritize Thumbring or Ballistics in an actual game. So the key difference that I pointed out with the cost, of the different techs, food for Thumbring and gold for Ballistics is very important. Now, in the start of Castle Age, food is often hard to come by. Why? Because you have to research crossbow, then bodkin arrow, which costs a lot of food. I think it's 325 total food for those two upgrades combined. And then it's very rare that you're going to be able to afford another 300 food for Thumbring. And this is not even taking into consideration that you need to get the bow saw upgrade, the wood upgrade, which costs another 150 food, and then you need to queue villagers, which also costs food. So in my opinion, food is more valuable in the early Castle Age than gold is. And this one key difference, just effects aside, makes me lean a little bit more towards Ballistics. However, another difference, as I pointed out earlier, is that Ballistics needs a university first, which costs 200 wood to actually get out, and takes some build time. My recommendation in a real game is if you're crossbows versus crossbows, that you prioritize Ballistics first. It's a lot better for your economy, B, a lot better in hit and run areas where you're shooting, then running and trying to dodge your opponent, and C, it simply just like the Thumbring doesn't do anything versus moving targets, so you're still able to dodge 100% of his shots if he did Thumbring and you did Ballistics. So you just simply move out of the way, he shoots and he misses, and then you shoot. While he moves, you'll land your shot because you have Ballistics. So 3 reasons there to get Ballistics over Thumbring in crossbow versus crossbow in early Castle Age. However, another scenario that comes up often is crossbows for yourself versus knights of your opponent. Do I get Ballistics or do I get Thumbring? Thumbring actually will give you more damage per second versus the knights if it's an all-in fight. However, if the knights are hitting and running and raiding your economy, Ballistics does more to actually fend them off. So overall, there's not really a clear-cut answer as to when to get either tech, but I will say this. Ballistics helps versus skirmishers, so not skirmishers, small skirmishers, so small fights in low numbers, and Thumbring helps versus all-in engagements. If you patrol 40 crossbows versus 40 crossbows together, Thumbring will win over Ballistics. However, if you are hitting and running with 20 archers, Ballistics will always win out over Thumbring. Same scenario goes for knights versus crossbows. If it's 40 knights versus like 60 crossbows, I'd rather have Thumbring. Whereas if it's like 4 knights raiding your economy versus like your 15 crossbows, I'd rather have Ballistics so I can pick them off as they're running by me. So I hope I answered all the questions regarding these two technologies. I know it can be kind of hard to understand everything without me showing examples on the screen, but I'm hoping that my small experiments can be extrapolated to the actual scenarios we see in game, where there's going to be all sorts of units that are standing still and in motion as well. I probably didn't cover everything there is to cover about these two technologies, so if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer as many as I can. Hopefully you guys are enjoying my 30 days of YouTube with April. I think we're on day 9 right now, so it's looking pretty good and we're on a steady streak. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. So this is it for now. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Peace.